Welcome back to the Combat Intel Media. Tonight, we bring you a major breaking development that has shaken intelligence circles across the Middle East. Explosive new revelations have emerged about Iran's secret missile and drone bases not inside Iran, but hidden deep within Yemen's mountainous regions. According to newly disclosed information from Yemen's defense ministry and regional intelligence sources, Tehran has been quietly expanding its military footprint far beyond its borders, building underground launch facilities, drone command centers, and supply depots in territory controlled by the Houthi movement. These revelations paint a disturbing picture of how Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, is transforming Yemen into a forward operating base for long-range missile and drone warfare, a direct threat not only to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, but also to international shipping lanes in the Red Sea and potentially even to Israel. According to reports from Yemeni defense officials speaking under condition of anonymity, Iran began constructing these covert facilities as early as 2021, shortly after intensifying support for the Houthi rebels in their fight against the Saudi-led coalition. What started as limited arms shipments and training support has now evolved into a full-fledged strategic partnership, with Iran establishing secret production lines for drones and short to medium-range ballistic missiles within Yemeni territory. Satellite imagery analyzed by independent experts appears to confirm the existence of underground storage bunkers, launch pads disguised as civilian infrastructure, and large hangars suitable for drone operations. Some of these bases are reportedly located in the provinces of Sauda, Al-Jawf, and Hajjah, areas under firm Houthi control, where access for outsiders is nearly impossible. Yemeni Defense Minister Major General Mohsen al-Dari revealed in a recent press briefing that his forces, along with allied intelligence partners, had uncovered a series of tunnels and fortified structures containing Iranian-made drones, missile parts, and advanced communication systems. He described the findings as, quote, evidence of Iran's deep and direct military control over Yemeni soil. Al-Dari further claimed that the Iranian-built bases are being used not just for storage, but for real-time military coordination between Houthi commanders and Iranian officers, many of whom are believed to be members of the IRGC's Quds Force. These officers reportedly operate under cover of technical advisors or military trainers, but their role goes far beyond instruction. They are allegedly involved in operational planning, target selection, and even remote guidance of missile launches. Western intelligence agencies, including the CIA and Britain's MI6, have reportedly been monitoring these developments closely. A recent classified assessment leaked to regional media suggested that Iran has transferred not only drone technology but also components for precision-guided ballistic missiles capable of striking targets up to 1,500 kilometers away. That range places strategic targets such as Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, and even Tel Aviv within potential reach, all from launch points inside Yemen. Analysts say the establishment of such bases marks a major shift in Iran's military strategy. For years, Tehran relied primarily on proxy militias and smuggling routes to project influence. But now, by embedding military infrastructure in allied territories like Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon, Iran is effectively building what some have described as a forward defense belt, an arc of launch platforms stretching across the Middle East. The implications are enormous. Not only does this strategy allow Iran to strike adversaries from multiple directions, it also complicates retaliation. If a missile is launched from Yemen, does that justify striking Iran directly? That ambiguity gives Tehran a strategic shield, one that it has used masterfully through its network of regional militias. Military experts also warn that these Yemeni bases could be used to threaten the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, one of the world's most vital maritime choke points. Roughly 10% of global trade passes through this narrow waterway connecting the Red Sea to the Arabian Sea. If armed drones or anti-ship missiles were deployed from Yemen's western coast, they could endanger international shipping and energy supplies, echoing the Houthi attacks seen in 2023 and 2024. According to open-source data, Iran has provided the Houthis with a wide array of weaponry, including the Shahed series suicide drones, the same type used in Russian strikes on Ukraine. These drones, capable of flying hundreds of kilometers, have already been used to target Saudi oil infrastructure and civilian airports. But what's new and far more alarming is that the Houthis may now be producing some of these drones locally, under Iranian supervision. Intelligence intercepts reportedly captured communications between Iranian officers and Houthi engineers discussing the testing of a new long-range variant of the Shahed drone, equipped with enhanced GPS navigation and improved warhead capacity. If verified, this would mark the first known instance of indigenous drone production under Iranian control outside Iran's borders. Meanwhile, Washington and its allies have expressed growing alarm. The U.S. State Department issued a statement condemning what it called Iran's destabilizing regional activities and warning that continued arms transfers to Yemen violate multiple United Nations Security Council resolutions. However, enforcement remains challenging. Iran's supply routes often pass through Oman or the Gulf of Aden, hidden among legitimate cargo shipments. Recent footage obtained by investigative journalists reportedly shows nighttime cargo offloading operations at Yemeni ports, where crates labeled as humanitarian aid were later identified as containing missile parts and drone fuselages. According to insiders, Iranian ships use fishing vessels and small transport boats to transfer the materials in stages, making detection extremely difficult. Regional reactions have been swift. Saudi Arabia's defense ministry has reportedly placed its air and missile defenses on heightened alert, fearing potential strikes on oil facilities or population centers. Israel, too, has been monitoring the situation closely. Israeli defense analysts say the discovery of Iranian bases in Yemen adds a new southern front to Israel's security map, one that could bypass traditional air defense routes. Israeli military officials have also hinted that any direct threat emerging from Yemen could trigger preemptive action, though they stopped short of confirming operational plans. One senior official told a local broadcaster that Iran's tentacles have reached every corner of the region, from Lebanon to Yemen, and the time may come when all of them will have to be cut simultaneously. For Yemen itself, the revelation deepens an already complex war. The Houthi leadership has denied the accusations, calling them part of a Western propaganda campaign aimed at justifying further Saudi aggression. In a statement, a Houthi spokesperson claimed that Yemen's defense capabilities are indigenous and developed in response to years of foreign invasion. However, analysts note that the sophistication of the recovered equipment, including guidance chips, satellite uplinks, and missile components identical to those used by Iran, makes these denials difficult to believe. Experts argue that Iran's strategy in Yemen follows a familiar pattern seen in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, establishing loyal local militias, embedding advisors, and slowly building a parallel military infrastructure under the guise of resistance movements. Over time, these groups evolve into semi-independent forces capable of threatening Iran's enemies without exposing Tehran to direct retaliation. If these claims are accurate, the network of Iranian-controlled bases in Yemen represents a major escalation in the regional balance of power. It transforms the war-torn nation into a new front line in the shadow conflict between Iran and its rivals. It also raises fears that Yemen could become the next flashpoint in a broader Middle Eastern confrontation. As one regional analyst put it, Iran has turned Yemen from a local civil war into a global strategic chessboard. With the Red Sea, the Arabian Peninsula, and even the Horn of Africa now within reach of Iranian-backed weapons, the stakes could not be higher. For now, Western intelligence agencies are racing to verify the full scope of these operations. Satellite reconnaissance continues, and naval patrols in the Red Sea have been reinforced. But as the world focuses on other crises, Tehran's quiet expansion into Yemen may go largely unchecked until the next missile is launched, and the world once again wakes up to the consequences. This developing story is far from over. As new evidence and imagery continue to surface, one thing is certain: the Middle East's military landscape is shifting dramatically, and Yemen, once seen as a peripheral battleground, may soon become the epicenter of a much larger storm. Stay tuned, because we'll continue tracking this story as it unfolds, with detailed intelligence updates, military analyses, and exclusive satellite findings. Thank you for watching CombatIntelMedia, your trusted source for global defense and warfare intelligence. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay ahead of the world's most critical military developments. Until next time, stay alert, stay informed, and stay with Combat Intel Media.